YouTube family, what is going on? It's Nighthawk187 here, back with another priceless cryptocurrency insight video. Today, however, I am actually going to be explaining to you guys how to set your chart up just like I do. So that way, we can use all of the same indicators, especially the people that are in my Discord, especially the people that are following me that are new to trading, that want to kind of learn more about it. I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do to set my chart up and what each of the indicators mean and how to read them in just a very simple, basic way. All right. First, though, I want everyone watching this video, everyone, to do two things for me. One, please like, comment, subscribe, reshare it, post it on Twitter, tag me on it on Twitter. My name's the same. Let's get that algorithm just absolutely busted on YouTube. You guys are so awesome. I've got, I don't even know how many views I have right now, to be honest. I think like 24,000 views on my other video. Like, it's absolutely insane. I broke 1,000 subscribers. Like, thank you guys so much. Really, I really appreciate it. It is just mind blowing. The second thing that I want everyone to do is, if you're coming into my chat to leave some dumb comments, or you're just coming to hate, leave the hate in your heart and not in my comments. Get out of here. Get out of here, trolls. Be gone. Be gone with you. I am not going to take any lessons from anyone that is less successful than I am. And no one else should either. You should only take lessons from people who are more successful than you. People who are elevating your level. I'm not going to entertain any of the trolls or anything anymore. I'm just going to give them a same blanket response. I'm going to thank all of you haters for coming to my chat specifically just to be a hater. Means I must be doing something right. Isn't that the thing, right? Once you make it, you'll find all the haters. Well, I'm finding them. I'm finding the trolls, finding the uneducated people in my chat. Get out of here. Everyone has a right to an opinion. If you want to leave something constructive, something you think I can work on, a comment, a suggestion, I will respond to that in kind. I just had someone right now that was debating with me that Safe Moon is still a Ponzi scheme and stuff, but he presented it in a nice way. He wasn't like, bro, you're dumb, blah, 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 like, like some of these other guys are. And I will respond to that, and we can have like literally a civil discourse over it. You can present me with evidence, I can present you with evidence, and we could just go our separate ways. I had one guy yesterday who I actually have a lot of respect for, and he had commented on some of my stuff, and I don't think he had watched my full video, but he was saying, you're trying to get everyone to hold on to the moon and this and this and that, and I'm not trying to get everyone to hold on to the moon with Safe Moon. I'm trying to make sure that everyone gets out in time to take some money out, at least if things go sour, which I don't think they will anytime soon, but things change so fast in the crypto market, it's hard to tell. But I want everyone to get out in time. He didn't really recognize that I had put that in my video. I think once I said something to him about it, he rewatched it. We ended up being like agreeing with each other, basically. I'm all about that. I'm all about cohesion and getting along with other people. You present me with evidence, you present me with solid points, I'll listen, man. We can have a debate. Whatever it is. Sometimes I can be a dick. I apologize. But leave the hate in your heart, not in my comments. I'm going to start saying that at the beginning of every single video, just to get it through people's heads from now on, because I'm tired of it. I don't know you, you don't know me. I tried to give everyone a heads up, kind of who I am and all of that. The people that are in my Discord, they like how fast I'm responding to them. They like that I'm taking the time to teach them, to help them understand things, to answer all of their questions individually. I've been taking the time to respond to every single comment that I get on every single video, and it is time consuming. Absolutely. But I'm doing it because I want you guys to understand I think that you guys are important, and I think that helping you here is why I am here. This is what I am doing this for. I'm here to help you guys understand the space, to understand crypto, to understand how to trade, you know. Some people are just going to be haters, and I'm just going to tell them, hey, you just became a hater. You little troll, get out of here. Anyways, let's get right into it, okay? Also, I'm not going to make a promise to you guys today that I usually make every video that this video will be under 10 minutes because it's already been 5 minutes. But here we go. So I'm on TradingView. I pay for TradingView. I have multiple indicators that I can set up. You guys are able to do this at home as well, but I think you'll be limited on the indicators. So anyone who is actually looking at trading or wants to get better at it or improve or whatever, definitely just pay for TradingView. If this is something that you're going to do with stocks, bonds, ETFs, whatever it is, pay for it. It'll help off. It'll help off. It'll pay off and help out is what I meant to say, and I combined them into one sentence. Anyways, here's what we do. We'll go up here to watch list. We'll hit the plus symbol. We will find here in either all, stock, futures, forex, CFD, crypto, index, or economy. We're going to go crypto. We're going to type in XRP, and it's going to pop up with basically the ones that have the most volume first, or the most popular, most searched for, XRP USDT on Binance. We already have that one pulled up over here, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner. Well, I guess it's kind of covered by my Nighthawk logo, but up here in the upper left-hand corner, it does show that. Next, what we're going to do is click this little drop-down menu. You see what I did there? This little drop-down menu up towards the top that says compare and everything. We're going to click that. This is going to give us all of our different time frames. Until you pay for TradingView, you can only have a certain amount of these time frames, all right? But you can see the ones I highlight here, the ones that are starred. These are the ones that I always have. They are up at the top here in this bar. It is behind my Nighthawk logo, so you can't see it, but up here it will have the different time frames. Those time frames indicate how long each of these candles takes to open and close. So if we go to 10-minute one, we can clearly see there's tons of 10 minutes. Obviously, right? If we go to the weekly, not so many weekly candles, right? If we go to the 14-day, each of these is 2 weeks. We can, so on and so forth, right? I think you guys get the point. So we're going to go here with the 4-hour chart, just because I'm going to show you guys the basics of setting this up and explain it. And I think that will take enough time to get through everything. At the top here, right here, we will see a thing that says FX and it says indicators. We will click on that. It says indicators and strategies. I already have all my favorites starred, but we're going to go to built-ins here, built-ins, okay? These are the most basic ones that I use that I absolutely love. They're very simple. They give you, I think, the most accurate results without having, you know, lines and all sorts of crazy stuff all over your screen, not being able to make out what's going on smaller moves because you have so much crap just on your screen. The first thing that we're going to put up is the Bollinger Bands. All right. Now you can see from what we just added, right? I'll take it off again. Oh, no, wow, look at it. It just tripled up. Good stuff. Good stuff. So over here on the left-hand side, I click this little drop-down button here. There's this little arrow under the price. It'll pull up whatever the indicators are. So I'm going to exit out of 2 of these because I don't need 3 Bollinger Bands. And we're going to take a look at these. Above the price action is the top Bollinger Band. Okay? Top Bollinger Band. Below the price action is the bottom Bollinger Band. Here in the middle now, you can see this little thin yellow line running through all of the price action here, right? You can see that little thin yellow line. That is the median Bollinger Band. General rule with Bollinger Bands, I can tell you something very, very quickly right now, just looking at the XRP chart. This is not going to be an XRP analysis. This is just chart setup, but really quickly I will make a point. Look at the similarities that we have here, and here, and here, at the top of the bands when we start touching them, right? Here we are over here. Look what's happening, right? We just touched the top of the bands. we like to trade sideways, and we either come and touch the middle Bollinger Band or get very close to it. More often than not, we will touch the middle Bollinger Band. Right now, I am currently in a short position. If you watched my XRP video yesterday, I told you guys we would bounce off the 145 to 150 range. What did we end up topping out at? 146.5. 146.5. I nailed that call within a penny and a half, right? I told you guys 145, we had to break through that. This was one of the price targets I laid out. Right now, it looks like we are not going to break through that. Right now, it looks like we're going to get rejected from it. Just a side note, just to let you guys know that I am not a total BSer here, okay? I'm going to get this stuff off. So remember, in the Bollinger Bands, usually always comes down to touch the middle when we have some price action. Once we get under the middle of the Bollinger Bands, we then have to fight against the middle to get back above it. Okay? It's like a moving support and resistance line, basically. With the Bollinger Bands, if we were to go to some smaller time frames, you can see how they squeeze in areas and then open up. Here is a perfect example of a squeeze. This means impending price action. Some sort of explosion is going to happen when it squeezes. We're starting to see a squeeze form here too, on these Bollinger Bands. If we go back here, you can see the squeeze was heavy down here on the bottom. What happens when we have price action? The bands open up. They explode open. They explode open, right? That is basically giving you the volatility of the bands. All right. Let's move on to the next indicator we're going to add to our chart. I can explain all of this more in detail in the Discord, or if you guys have questions, I can post more in-depth analysis for you. You can DM me. Next, we're going to add the MACD. We're going to add the MACD just because it's kind of a good visual representation of the price action. The MACD, I like to tell people that I'm teaching, is like the ocean. It has waves. Some sets are stronger than others. Some waves are stronger than others. They come and they go. It's an ebb and a flow constantly, right? The green wave, as you can see correlation here, is green buying power, right? The red wave is selling power. The bigger the wave is, the harder the power, just like the ocean, right? When you see it switch here from dark green to light green in the MACD, dark green to light green in the MACD, dark green to light green, you can see it happen over and over and over. When it switches to that white color, this goes for the red too. When it switches to that lighter color, that means it is losing power. It is losing that steam, that force behind it. It is slowly going away. However, that is not always indicative of what's going to happen next. That doesn't necessarily mean we are for sure going into a green wave, but it's usually a good indicator. We're on the 2-hour chart here, so each of these is 2 hours, each candle on the XRP. And you can see almost every time that it starts to turn white, we end up switching over, right? Another thing to always keep an eye on is for crossovers on the MACD, because those are almost always a very, very good indicator. Here's this, well, not even a full crossover there, but you want to look for the bigger, more blow-off top crossovers, because every time that we have one, we just had one, usually a good measure of what's coming next, right? So that's the MACD. The more pressure, the more volume, the more power behind the move, the bigger the candles will be. That's why you can look at all of this and see how some of these waves are bigger than others, right? We have little baby red wave here and big green waves, and then this is right after a big red wave. So there wasn't much power here. And then if we look at the charts, we can see we made a lower or a higher low here and then bounced off of that, right? Later, when we had the dump, we had a big red wave. So, once again, so far we've got the MACD on our chart. We've got the Bollinger Bands on our chart. Now we're going to go back up to indicators. And we are going to go back to built-ins. We are going to type in Stochastic RSI. Stochastic RSI. This is 2 indicators smashed into one. And very, 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 very powerful. All right. Trading it on the smaller time frames, you can see lots of little crazy kinks in there. Not always the best. However, when you go to bigger time frames, you can see it smooths out quite a bit. And on bigger time frames, it's a lot easier to read. It is also a lot more predictable on the bigger time frames. And when I'm saying bigger time frames, I'm talking about, obviously, the bigger candles, right? The longer candle time frames. So 10-hour plus. So anything above 10 hours, 12 hours day, 3-day, 14-day, weekly, those are going to be the ones that you want to use. For this, especially if you're swing trading, you're making those longer trades, you're not scalping trades every day like I am, but that's because I can literally sit in front of the computer, watch all of it happen, and participate, right, consistently. So if you can't do that, stick to the daily, stick to the 12-hour time frames. I mean, look at the stochastic here on the 12-hour. We can see that it's starting to come up, and we can see a little bit of it pointing down right in here. On the stochastic, technically, if you wanted to make your life easy, anything between 20 and 0 at the bottom would be considered a buy. These would be considered oversold conditions, meaning all the weak hands pretty much have gotten out. This is a good area to buy in, down here at the bottom. And you can see what happened when we started pointing up. We had a huge price movement in the charts, upwards, right? Well, what's happening now? The stochastic is starting to slowly point down. However, the actual stochastic hasn't pointed down. That blue line is the RSI in here, right? The orange is the stochastic. It's not completely turned over yet. Therefore, we don't really know if we're reversing or what's happening yet. But we'll keep an eye on it. So the orange line, being the stochastic, is going to tell you the momentum behind the move, okay? The momentum. The blue is the RSI. The RSI stands for the Relative Strength Index. So that would be like the power behind it. Together, these indicators, when they're matched together in this way, become very, very easy to read. And the simplest way to read them is if it's above 80, that would be a sell. This would be a sell for us. Let's look here when we started curving down, when we crossed over each other, right? And we started pointing down, what happened in the charts? Big sell-off. Okay, we came down. What happened when we were under 20, which would be technically a buy? 0 to 20 would be technically a buy. What happened when we crossed over on the stochastic? That is also the key, crossing over the lines, right? And then facing upwards from the bottom. Facing up would indicate bullish momentum is coming. So let's look what happened here right at the crossover. Look at this big bullish move we had, right? What happens above that when we start pointing down with the stochastic RSI and we're above 80? We had bearish movement here. And if we go all the way over here to this big jumbled whatever the hell this was, this market from the beginning here all the way to what the end of this move was, before it started being clear, it's pretty much right about here. Here is where we should have known to sell, right at the top there, right where we had that crossover. I think it's pretty easy for you guys to be able to read that and understand, right? However, you can very clearly see the stochastic does not always mean that that is what's going to happen. Sometimes the stochastic double backs on itself. Right, look at this at the top here. This move at the top is a perfect example. We started crossing over, we started pointing down, and what did price action do? It said, nope, we're going back up. But what was happening in the price action during that time? The first crossover, we were having a bullish move and we were overbought. And then when we had the first crossover, here we are, a sell-off. And then we turned back around, had another crossover, and we kept running up. However, the next time that we started looking down, we were on a technical double top. Technical double top, meaning we have bounced off of the top twice. We knew a sell-off was coming. We could have easily captured that profit there. Easily. Just by using the stochastic alone with no other indicators. All right? So it's a very, very strong, powerful tool. Next, we're going to move on to adding in the moving averages. So we're going to go into built-ins here. We're going to type in moving average. We're going to do just regular moving average. We're going to click this 3 times, okay? You could maybe even do 4 if you wanted to. So let's do 3 just to keep our lines easy. Well, we can't see them right now because it just doubled up. You can see on the left-hand side here, it just doubled up all of the moving averages, all of them with a weight of 9. So we're going to kick this little gear. Click the little gear here, which is settings. We'll go to inputs. We're going to change the length of it. The first length we're going to put in is going to be 25. Now I'm going to go to style, and I'm going to change the color of it to something nice and bright and different than the other indicators that I have so I can tell them apart, right? I'm going to make this one red, and I'm going to up the thickness so I can see. There. Now I'm going to go to the other one, go back to inputs, back to length. I'm going to make this one 100. I'm going to go to style, and I'm just going to keep this one the color that it is, but I'm going to make it a little bit more thick, right? Now let's already look what's happening. We have our blue 100 down here, or cyan, I guess you could say, and then we have our red 25 up here. All right, let's change this other one. We're going to make this one here the 200-day moving average. And we're going to, once again, thicken up that line so I can see it. We can very clearly now see all of the moving averages, right? We can also see the difference in the median Bollinger Band. We can also see the difference in the Bollinger Bands, which also, if you guys want to thicken that up too, you'd go for the Bollinger Bands is the same thing. You go to settings. You can change the colors. You can change the colors here. Like, let's say we wanted to make this one green in the middle. Make it a little bit more thick too. But it's nice to have it more thin because you can tell, okay, that's the middle of the bands, right? Let's make this one thicker here. Make this one thicker here. So we know very defined and clearly which one the Bollinger Bands are, which is the median Bollinger Band because of the thickness difference, and which ones of our moving averages there is. I'm not really a huge fan of that blue that's there, so I'm going to change that on the 100-day moving average. I'm going to change the color really quick because I don't like it, to purple. That looks good. Sweet. So now you guys should be able to see all of this. You should be able to see it. The way the moving averages work is they move with the candles. The lowest time frame will move the fastest with the candles. It will be less predictable. You can see clearly it's following the candles a lot more. The 100 days following the candles more than the 200 day, right? I explained this in my video the other day that the 25 day, the 100 day, and the 200 day will all have different like support that they give or resistance that they give because they're not as strong if you think of them like that, right? So this 25 is going to be a good support and resistance line, and you can actually see right here on these 12-hour candles, it actually interacted very, very well with the 25-day moving average. It bounced off of it a whole bunch. Look at all these little 12-hour candles in there, and the median Bollinger Band, right? The 100-day here will have more power than the 25-day, but less power than the 200-day. Meaning if we have a move right now, which I believe we're just about to, and we head down here, once we break through the middle Bollinger Band and the 25-day moving average, we will come down and bounce off of this, okay? We will bounce off of that 100-day moving average. We'll probably backtest to that middle band again. If we were to continue down, we would then stop at the 200-day moving average. These are very likely points to always make trades and just look at and check out. First, what usually happens, especially with XRP, just because I trade this all the time, I'm always watching it. this type of stuff usually happens, right? We have this bounce up, we come down, we'll hit this bottom Bollinger Band, but we'll actually just make a giant wick to the bottom and suck back up into the band for a bit, and then we'll power down, bounce off, and then go. So, or we'll suck back up into the band there, and I can't do that arrow, and then we'll just keep going up. But if we bounce off this moving average and then we just continue up, that's actually a good sign. You want to bounce off moving averages with force. So now we have, once again, the Bollinger Bands. We have 3 different moving averages. And if you wanted to, you could add another moving average at 50. So let's do that just so you guys can see how that would look. Moving average. Just added it. I'm going to go back over here. Go to the settings. Change the color of it again so that I can see it easily, right? We want to be able to see them easily and define them easily. I'm not sure which color to use even because I've used all the other ones. Nah, lime green looks too close to the middle Bollinger Band. Maybe I'll do that turquoise looking color that we had. There you go. I'm going to change the input on this one to 50. Now look. We can see, I'll tell you right now, we'll probably end up bouncing off of this little area here. Or struggling to get through that, which is right around $1.30, which is something that I had called out. Hey, if we go to $1.45 and get rejected, look for us to hold support at $1.25 to $1.30. It was exactly what I was saying in my last video. Go check it. If you don't believe me, all the haters that are still watching this for whatever reason, even though you're going to just leave FUD and hate, go look. I 100% called that. If we come down to 125 and 130 range, 100% I called us hitting 145 and coming back and back testing that. These are the indicators that I use. I don't use much else. These bars down here at the bottom, I haven't touched on them, but they're pretty self-explanatory. These are volume. Green is big volume for buying and red is selling volume. So with these indicators, you can pretty much predict 90% of the moves that are going to happen in the market. There's a couple other indicators that I can have you guys do that I also have on my charts, but these are really the basics. You don't really need to have anything else. I'm just racking my brain trying to think if I explained everything the way that I think I should have. I'm pretty sure that I did. They're pretty easy to read. Just remember these little charts. Look at all of the squiggles in here and stuff, right? Like these little charts are very hard to read and to predict because they switch up so fast. And you have to really monitor them. So using the indicators on the bigger charts is a lot better of a strategy. I just saw here, we just slammed into this, right? What's that yellow line again, guys? 200-day moving average. Very powerful. Very powerful. You go back over here, we look, held it as support, broke through it, tried to hold it as support, but then broke through it. What did we do right away? Back tested to hold it as resistance. Was support, broke through, now is resistance, okay? Then we come down here, we can see we're battling the moving average. We break through. What are we doing again? Battling this moving average as resistance. So we have to break through these types of things. These are just easy ways to look at, okay, if we start showing weakness here, you know, if you're making day trades or scalping trades like I do, you go, all right, we're going to have some weakness in here. This would have just been kind of a really confusing situation because we've just literally been bouncing on this thing like up and down. But it does look like we might possibly start kind of working our way down right now. If we go through the rest of the charts, you can see how the candles interact with the moving averages. And also, here we are in the 4-hour time frame, and what do you know? We just slammed into that moving average on this one too. So you can see how all these candles interact. There's another one on the 10-hour. Look at that. We just slammed into the moving average trying to break through it. These are just good points, references to make trades off of. You can look at the stochastic here, go, oh, okay, well, we're battling what was resistance for a long time, right? We may not push through it right now. We may come back down and retest these other moving averages. What does that put us? Right at about 125. The level I've been calling for. So it would make sense to me, based on what I'm seeing in these charts, that we had something like this, bounced off, retest here, and then try to make our way back up. I think that's probably more likely. Or we don't even bounce off all the way, and we just continue down more. Man, I cannot do any of that stuff. So, I hope this helped, guys. I hope you can set up your charts. This is how I have my chart set up. Very easy to understand, very easy stuff to look at and kind of grasp. Add these in. If you need to pay for the basic trading view, then pay for it. You get some extra indicators. You can save your chart layout too. That's another thing. And you can add a ton of coins to your watch list. They don't usually have a lot of coins that are just coming out. Excuse me. Yawning. They don't usually have a lot of coins that are just coming out, but they do have like all of the major coins and stuff. So XRP is going to be the main one that we're focused on trading on, that I'm focused on trading. It's really the only one that I trade, and I throw some of the profits from XRP from trading into some of these other coins like SafeMoon and some crap coins that come out that I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll throw $1,000 at it and see what happens, type of thing. Sometimes it pays off big. Sometimes I end up with $100, So I try to find decent coins that I can throw money into that have, somewhat of a promising idea or a promising team behind it or whatever. But that's kind of how you'll set up your chart for any of these trades, any of these coins that you're going to look at. This is what you'll do, guys. So I hope this was helpful. If you're in my Discord and you're watching this and you need any more clarification on anything, please ask. This is the most basic setup that I will teach you guys. I will have a whole nother video going into Fibonacci levels and all of that stuff, or probably even just teach the people in my Discord. And yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I hope our crypto bags stay full, and I wish you guys all good fortune.